Hey guys, welcome back to another Juicy React.
Today we have another food related reaction video. We are so hungry. We've been sat here filming videos for like the last hour or two.
Lunch is very nearly ready, so by the time we finish, we'll have lunch. So I feel like we've said that in all of these videos we filmed today, but we'll have it soon.
If our faces are like this watching this, that just means we're hungry. That's all it is. Today we've got top 5 quirky Filipino food habits and traditions that only Filipinos will get.
Maybe we'll get them too.
I was going to say,
I feel like we're Filipino now.
We might not. We're not Filipino, but we live like we live in the Philippines.
We are Filipino.
We're not Filipino.
No, we are Filipino by heart. That counts.
I don't know if you can even say that.
Well, I feel like I am.
Okay, we spend a lot of time in the Philippines. We live here. We've traveled the Philippines a lot. We feel like we understand the culture.
Yes.
But this might be like deeper. This might be more subtle.
Yeah, definitely.
Only Filipinos will get.
Well, this is a full test to find out. Okay, this is going to decide.
Okay. Are you ready?
Wait, before we begin, if you've got any other reaction requests, please head over to our Instagrams. We'll link them below, thank you. And you can send us a little DM there with a link to the video or the name of the video, and we'll try our best to react to it. And also, if you like daily vlog style videos, we've got our main channel called The Juicy Vlog. Please go and subscribe to that as well. It would mean a lot to us.
Definitely,
and there's loads more there
in the description below as well. Yes. So we're going to get on with this one. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
You walk in or you're at a family celebration, and regardless of how much you eat, somebody's just going to be there going at you like Jenga ba, Jenga ba, Jenga ba. Like literally, that's my experience living in the Philippines. Hi mga kabano, it's Chris here, and I'm telling you the story of Filipino food online with our channel today. And today's subject, of course, is Filipino food habits and quirks that you may not be familiar with.
Interesting. Let's see if we know any.
Filipinos are a very giving food culture. They always want to make sure that yung kapitbahay nila, yung friend nila is also eating food, right? So it's a very generous culture. Even if it's a total stranger, you're not at a family celebration, you're just walking along, you see somebody eating, they're gonna be like, kain? They're gonna invite you to eat their food. And of course, they're secretly hoping that you're not gonna walk up and be like, yeah, I don't know you, but thanks for the chicken, mate. They're secretly hoping you would say, no, busog pa ako. Like, I'm actually already full, or
is that right?
Something like that. That's what you're
hoping to say.
But culturally, you have
to offer.
Even if it's a total stranger, you have to offer to share your food.
So we should never accept it.
Example, of course,
we're like, yes, please.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really hungry.
And there's a really cool song about this, I believe. Mikey Bustos did this. This is about when there's one piece of food remaining, and Filipinos will literally fight each other before eating the last piece. Now, this one's great for me because bilang isang dayuhan, wala akong pakialam tungkol sa jahe piece. Kain lang ako. I just take the jahe piece. Yeah, I said it.
He just takes it while there.
I'm like, this is fantastic. It's like they're leaving one
always
piece
gets
for
lost
whoever has the least share. That's me. Bang, eat the jahe piece. But the idea is, it's like everybody's too polite to want to take the jahe piece. So they'll say to each other like, you know, kunin nyo na. Nagkahiyan pa ako. You take it. You have it. And then I'm like, yep. So some examples of this Filipino giving when it comes to food is like you walk in or you're at a family celebration, and regardless of how much you eat, somebody's just going to be there going at you like Jenga ba, Jenga ba, Jenga ba. Like literally, that's my experience living in the Philippines. It's not quite like CIA waterboarding equivalent, but it's like one step removed from literally having it rammed down your throat, which is great, but sometimes you're just like, sobra na, okay, I've got to leave the room. That's this kind of tradition that the Philippines is when it comes to food. And today I'm going to bring my top 5 Filipino quirky food habits and traditions for you guys. So the first one that we're going to talk about today is the tradition of Kamiyan.
I thought we'd already started.
From the word
no, we're going in now.
And Kamiyan is the practice of eating food with your hand. And I love Kamiyan. I think some of you guys would
we
know
love that too.
I spent a lot of time growing up in Indonesia where we
use your
practice
thumb.
Kamiyan. And I think it makes the food taste better. And most Filipinos agree it makes the food taste better. Now, from a scientific or chemical basis, I don't think you could say the food literally tastes better. But I think it's something about your ability to like better craft the perfect morsel at the time from your ulam, the perfect amount of rice, sauce, the nice bit of fish, whatever, and get it all in one go and get it into your mouth. So I think you have more control maybe than using utensils. The technique that I was always taught, right, is to bowl up your food a little bit, bowl up your rice, get some sauce on it, and then you have like your bowl here, and then your thumb is like the shovel, and you do this bang with the thumb, and that's just gonna push the food into your mouth. So that's the technique. If anyone watching, especially Estados Unidos, who is used to only eating with fork and spoon, you might want to try this at home. Now, this is obviously an ancient tradition that stemmed back to before utensils were widely available. And in the Philippines, it does sometimes can be seen as denoting somebody's socioeconomic status. For example, very wealthy people would rarely be seen engaging in kamayan, and it's something that you would see a lot more in the province. I practice.
When we're on like an island trip or something, something and there's fresh fish, you often do it, don't you?
Yeah.
People who is doing Kamiya, because I just think it makes so much
with my
more
hands
sense
loads
with a lot of
here.
Filipino ulam, especially if there's a bone and you're trying to get all the delicious bits. It's so much
Yeah,
easier.
it's
so
easier,
I'm a
like,
Kamiyan
especially
guy,
like
I'm
bone
not
stuff
embarrassed
and
about it.
ribs
I
and
don't care, it's
wings
just easier.
and
So try
fried
Kamiya out
chicken.
if you haven't already. So the
Yeah,
next
you have
And there's something-
You have to just get involved.
Yeah, there's something satisfying about having rice and like balling it up and
Yeah.
putting that in your mouth. That's good.
At the table.
Something satisfying about eating in general.
Or dipping sauces.
Number 4.
Oh yeah,
So
we've done
if
this
you're
a
in a
lot of
place
times.
like France and they bring out a plate of food, they put it in front of you, and then you go and like put some sauce on it, that can actually be seen as an insult to the chef or whoever prepared the
Really?
meal, because they would say that, oh, you didn't like the taste that I cooked that with. But dito sa Pilipinas, actually,
That's like you when I
the food
put
is a lot
ketchup on
more
things.
Flexible, the food
Everything I
identity
cook.
and
Can I
people's tastes and
ketchup on
palates.
this?
So what you do here is you
Okay.
have your sauce on the table, so maybe your toyo mansi or your liver sauce if you're having lechon, or just
That looks like a fancier version, doesn't it?
It does look
idea
very
with
posh.
That is that you actually complete the meal according to your own taste. So you get to customize the meal right at the time of eating it,
Makes
with the
sense.
addition of
Yeah.
more sour, more sweet, more saltiness.
Do you remember in
case of
Manganasa
Sefardis,
once,
so it's
and
kind of
the
like
chicken oil
sour, and
bottle
that
opened,
gives you
and
a
it
much
went, it
greater
flooded his
flavor
whole
than
plate,
you
and
I
he
still
had
ate it.
so much.
Every
It's so
plate
bad.
that they
My mouth
get
was
the
so
perfect
oily.
flavor for them, which is actually a really cool part of Philippine cooking. I mean, this is more customizable than a lot of the Western tradition, where it's like, I made a pot of stew, I'm putting it in a bowl for you. If you don't like it, that's it. Not changing it. And your only options really
not friends
is
anymore.
It's
salt
true
and pepper
though.
when you're in a
And
Western
you can
culinary
add
tradition.
stuff and
So
change
that
the
one
flavour
is
for
really
what
interesting.
you
Yeah.
like,
We'll
the
put up
spice,
a
the
here to the
vinegar.
various sausawan that I've made, so you can actually go and look at the range of Filipino sausawan that's out there and which ones work with what types of food and so on, so you can get the perfect bite every time. Number 3 on my list of interesting Filipino food habits is those food combinations that Filipinos like to do, where they take two things that individually taste pretty good, but together you'd never think to eat them.
We've seen this a
Put
bit.
them together and somehow it works. So some examples of that would be like champorado and tuyo, which is you know, chocolate rice porridge with dried.
I've made
salted fish.
champorado
Sounds
recently,
delicious.
and people
It's
were
delicious.
like, "Get the
You
dried
have
fish
things
on
like
top," but I
unripe
can't
green
get. I've never
mango,
tried
I know.
it.
fermented.
We've done that.
Us Westerners, that does sound
Also,
like a bit of a clash.
Really unusual.
We've
but
had,
we've had that,
we've
actually.
Had green
Yeah, that was
mangoes
good.
and shrimp paste.
It's nice, salty, sour effect. So this is something that Filipinos are really widely known for.
But
So
I wonder what
chocolate and
else.
fish.
I know that. I
Great
can't get
Can't
my
get
head
my
around
head
it.
around it.
And great experiment.
But we should try.
Which,
Yeah.
if you really understand the history of Filipino food and how it evolved, stems from literally being impacted from all corners of the world, from Western Europe, from Central America, from China, from the Malay Peninsula.
I love watching these videos.
from
You learn
India,
so much.
from
Like
North America, more
when
Really
we, now that we can't travel, it's actually cool that we can watch stuff like this because we can still learn stuff.
It's kind of been
Definitely.
banged together in the Philippines, that I think this just doesn't feel weird at all to Filipinos, that you would pair stuff like that the way it does for countries with a much more homogenous culinary tradition. So I think it's actually a really cool part of eating in the Philippines. And if you want to check out more weird and wacky Filipino food combinations, we got a video on that. All right, so the next
Ooh, we can do that
Filipino
one.
food habit is the eat all you can table.
Oh, Boodle Fight kind of thing.
Maybe.
There's
Oh, no.
force
Buffet
in
style.
Buffet.
Filipino
Like family
There's no
dining.
rules in Filipino dining. You put everything out on the table and people just eat it in whatever order they want. In Western culinary tradition,
Cool.
you normally have like a very clear course. This is the appetizer, and then this is the
That's
main
Yeah.
true,
course.
actually.
You don't get like
Always
starter,
gonna be
main,
something
dessert.
that's
Not
safe,
really.
and then you go
Like
to
you'd
your
see the
You'd have,
dessert
like,
out with the main,
That's
like
very
when you want to
structured
eat
and
it, eat
regimented.
it.
You have like your side dishes
I
and
hadn't thought of
stuff.
that. I've definitely noticed
from
it.
coming to the Philippines. How do you guys do this? It's absolutely mind-boggling to your taste palate if you're a foreigner and you try that out and you've not done that before. But for Filipinos, that's very, very normal. And it makes things
Seems quite
like
normal to
wine
me now.
very
Maybe we're, like,
difficult
adjusting.
Because
This is what I've been telling you,
normally
George.
when wine has been paired to like a particular dish, but this is a food culture where there are no rules, there's no order to eating. So how
I like
can you
that.
choose a wine to match
I
a
want
table
like
that will have
a
fresh
islandy
fruit and
lunch
mango,
type thing.
like
Looking at them
Kamiya,
prawns
you
there.
have jackfruit, you'll have savory, you'll have leche flan or brazo de mercedes or something like this on the table, and then it's like you need to put out 12
I remember Jim's
wines
leche
to
flan.
pair to it, and you have to have 12 glasses because every time
So
they change
good.
the dish, you need a different wine for it. So I think that's one of the issues Filipinos have with learning how to enjoy wine as well, which is an interesting consequence from this really eclectic food culture that we've got here. So that all-you-can-eat table, that's normally served in a home setting setting. Having a buffet in the Philippines is like a surefire way to lose money because Filipinos are just gonna smash your buffet, take all the high value items. There's not many successful buffets here. There are one or two, but it's a tough game.
There's a good one here in BGC, but which we haven't been to, but we've heard it's good.
Turo. So that's where you go into a Filipino carinderia, and instead of eat all you can from a table, there's some like portion control there, but still offers an eclectic range. So they'll have like, you know, 10 different things to choose from, and you just point at what you want and they're going to give you one server of that. But it's all on the same plate, it's all mixed together, the sauces are all running together and mingling, so something more sour with something more savory, and they just all mix and come together. And the last one on my list today is of course Boodle Fight.
My favorite. This is what I'm talking about.
I think this is starting to get
more
known around the world, but this is the concept of you get a banana leaf, and you're just gonna like lay a bunch of rice on that, and then you're gonna put some ulam around it. And this is something that everybody can just grab at. It's a communal plate, and it's Kamiyan style. So some people will probably argue with the hygiene aspects of that, of literally eating from the same communal plate with your hands. But this is a food tradition that stemmed with the Philippine military academy. And we normally do this on an island or something. We've all like been in the sea, like I feel like the salt water cleans your hands and stuff. So by Filipino military units in the province, and I have personally experienced that myself. I joined a group and we have eaten Kamiyan style.
Just use hand sanitizer
off a banana leaf with the troops. And no matter whether you're the officer or the private, everybody is the same when it comes to Boodle Fight. Everybody eats off the same plate. Now, of course, this sort of military experience has been taken and adapted to civilian dining experiences as well. So you're starting to see more Boodle Fight in fiestas in the Philippines, and it's also becoming a bit of a novelty dining experience. I'm aware now in NYC that you can get Boodle Fight experience. One of the
$50 each, wasn't it? Do you remember? We watched that video. So expensive.
That's a real interesting thing in one of the world's most cosmopolitan cities to be able to have like a Filipino Boodle Fight. Hey, New Yorkers, you can come here and sort of do that for about 1/100th of the price here in the Philippines, right? Or make your own in the province here, and people do see it as a really cool bonding experience between a group. So the food that's going to be served on a Boodle Fight, the only thing that's compulsory really is the rice, but you would typically do things that are grilled. Remember, you're typically eating this in quite a primitive setting, right? You're in the jungle, so you probably don't have caldero and lots of different things to make sauces. So Boodle Fight is most often done with things that can be very easily cooked over fire or in a fairly raw form or simple steaming only. So think like grilled pork chops or grilled fish or smoked fish that's just been brought and added to the Boodle Fight. It might be sort of some seaweed or simple green vegetables like kangkong, maybe lightly steamed, maybe not. Things like itlog na maalat, which obviously you can carry those. It's a salted egg, so that's preserved, has a long shelf life. You just crack them open, add them, right? So it's fairly simple fare, which is consistent with the origins of how Boodle Fight came to be.
That photo there's a huge one.
So look how many fish are
lined
up at the back.
That would feed so many people.
See that?
Whether you're in the Philippines or not in the Philippines. So Malcobano, what did you think about today's top 5 Filipino food habits that you need to be aware of? Please leave a comment below with anything that I knew.
We definitely, I knew all of them, I think.
Yeah, see, I told you.
That makes me feel good. It makes me feel like we've listened and immersed ourselves in Filipino culture whilst we've been here.
That was a really good video. So thank you so much for watching today. Please give it a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and we'll see you in the next
The Juicy Reacts.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.